back to cultural direction setting. And it's time to hear from some folks who had a really difficult challenge ahead of them. They were asked to join a cultural direction setting group called Convenience Camps and the 10 Principles. And who doesn't have an opinion about that? So they had to really work hard to think through everything. And we have two folks from that larger group here to share what they've been up to. So I'm really grateful to introduce Prince of Yummy RUMInations Camp and Papa Bear of the placement team. Take it away.
Hello all. We're not going to be taking any questions during this segment. There's a breakout group later, so please write down your questions and come to our breakout later. And let me get this going. All right. My name is Papa Bear. My first burn was 2005. I ran a theme camp at the 9 o'clock portal for years and then joined placement in 2013. I'm a flagger putting all those blue flags in the ground, and I'm part of the cultural direction setting group with.
Hey everyone, I'm Prince. I'm camp daddy for Yummy RUMInations. 2020 will be my 12th year on Playa, and fun fact, me and my husband, we helped Tyson build an art piece and got married in it called the Shrine of Sympathetic Resonance in 2019. So that was cool.
One of the biggest hurdles was to set aside personal opinions and judgment between a group of placers, theme camp organizers, and convenience camp organizers, and build trust and understanding of perspective. I can honestly say it was slow going to start, but once we understood each other and had that trust, we really got to work. We spent quite a while defining terms and letting go of our egos. This was important in that a word could mean something to one person and something else to another person. And we are one hell of a strong-headed group that, as all of us here are or were camp organizers, you can label us as having big egos.
But somehow, even though we had those big egos, we came together. We listened, we heard each other respectfully, and we built trust. But let's be clear, the journey is not over. We don't all agree, and everything we put out, some want it more and some want it less. I want it more. But we all respect the final work. One of our goals is that change is constant, and as we build policies and concepts, we wanted to leave them with the ability to work with unseen changes in the future.
These concepts are difficult. On one hand, we don't want to set up draconian bureaucratic policies, but on the other hand, there are things going on within the city that are toxic to our culture. And we heard that the community echo that sentiment from the answers to the 2018 Cultural Direction Survey.
With the cultural direction setting vision in hand, our differing perspectives as a group, and the ability to listen respectfully to each other, we built these areas of the camp criteria that we're going to share with you now. So transactional exchanges. So with this, we anchored ourselves to our Burning Man principles that Black Rock City operates on a gifting economy. The default world is entirely set up on the basis of transactional exchanges, where you do something for someone with a written or unspoken belief that that person is going to give you something back in return. In other words, not a gift. That concept is not our community's North Star. Gifting is our North Star. So we each had to stop. We had to do some serious self-reflecting and ask ourselves, is this practice within our camp living in good faith by this idea? And I think when each of us, when we did that hard work, and it was very hard, we discovered we could all do things better.
So convenience. When does convenience become toxic within a camp? Is it because you really wanted to rent a porta potty this year? That one thing, probably not. But when a camp focuses all of its energy on creating the most comfortable, all frills available experience to only the people in their camp, while also neglecting or just creating public interactivity for participants as a second thought to get placed, that's toxic. So consent. This also is in the criteria. We all know what this is. No? Well, you should. It's a good thing. Practice it. If not, the Bureau of Erotic Discourse is for you. Go look them up. Prince is going to drop a link for you.
And inclusivity. Basically, don't hate, just appreciate. Wait, do you have questions? Wait, wait, you're on mute. I can't hear you. That's probably a good thing.
So we're going to define participation and versus participation. Participation is our state of being, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. We understand that it takes both financial and human resources to make camps and Burning Man happen. Camps do not have camp members who don't help provide and support the camp's on-play interactivity and operations. It is each individual's responsibility to make sure that they are contributing to the culture in the city as stated in the cultural vision of residential Black Rock City.
Pay participation. Let's take a moment and let's all read this. Let's soak it in. Yes, I said that. Let's just soak it in. This is a very big defining moment for our community.
Good faith. We want to trust and believe that each camp is doing it right and that their intention is sound. But there's a small number of camps that aren't. Therefore, we are working on a process to work with these camps to point them toward their North Star of our community. The last sentence of this quote reflects that, and our group is still working on that process. How many times have you heard someone throw radical self-reliance at you? We do address that because paying for a catered experience is not only practicing radical not only not practicing radical self-reliance, but it can erase immediacy too.
In July 2019, in the Burning Man Journal, it was announced that if your camp needs a special recreational permit or an SRP, you would not be placed. To be clear, we are only concerned with activity on playa that would require payment in camp.
However, we want you to consider what it means culturally to hire someone to build that mutant vehicle for you instead of building it yourself. There's a lot of gray areas here. It's up to you to decide what's culturally sound and in good faith to our gifting economy off playa. So we've been hearing the word transactional exchange a bunch. So what exactly is transactional exchange? Me and Prince have a little scene here to try to demonstrate it to you. Hey, Prince. Dude, I need someone to drive our 26-foot rental truck with all our camp gear to Burning Man. I can't find anyone. Could you do it?
Hell yeah, if I get a free ticket.
Yeah. I guess we can swing that for you. So that is a transactional exchange. There was an expectation of something in return for doing something for another person. So what if we flip this?
Hey, Papa Bear. Dude, I am super stressed. I need someone to drive our 26-foot rental truck with all of our camp gear, and we cannot find someone. Would you be interested in helping us? And I did get the camp. They would cover the travel expenses to the burn, the gas for the box truck and everything.
Dude, I got you. I don't have a ticket yet, but I'll start looking for a ticket right away. I'm on it.
Maybe we can give you a ticket. Hold on, before I say that, let me go talk to camp leadership and I'll get back to you.
That would be awesome, but don't worry about it. I've always wanted to go to Burning Man. I'd love to drive your truck no matter what. So that is a non-transactional exchange. There was no expectation of return on either party. It was just like, hey, can you do this thing? Dude, I'd love to do this thing. And then the thing might happen.
So what do we recommend? We want to engage, we want to inquire, we want to seek to understand.
There aren't as many camps doing it wrong as we might think. Many of the camps labeled as plug and plays because of a lack of frontage or obvious interactivity or art support camps or mutant vehicle camps. They don't need to be interactive because they are participating through their vehicle or their on-playa art installation. So talk to people, find out what they're working on before labeling and judging. If you find out they're doing it wrong through your conversation with them and they're not open to your calm, friendly explanation of the 10 principles, then email placement at or doing it wrong at.
For more examples of what's okay, not okay, gray area, go to the Burning Man website for theme camp criteria and click the link for pay participation under the culture section. You can check out additional examples there.
So the commodification, gifting, decommodification, and participation piece is also available through the main theme camp page on the website. And this philosophical document began as a focusing process in writing a definition for commodification at Burning Man and Black Rock City. It evolved as we realized, with feedback, that you can't really talk directly about commodification within the culture of Burning Man without delving deeper into gifting, participation, and decommodification.
The sentence commodification replaces the deeply personal act of individually contributing to the community with consumption is the heart of the exploration. What we would like to see is for all of you to read it, process it, and think about how it applies to you or doesn't apply to you.
And again, we have a breakout in the second half. So please come by there and ask your questions of us then. There'll be more of us from group 6 there. Over to you, Trippy.
Thanks. So there's a lot more cultural direction setting to come in the breakout section of today. So if you want to speak to folks like Catnip and Dilemma and Hep Kitten and Spacious and Ratchet, who presented earlier, you can come in the first section. They'll be there under the revised criteria and draft system improvements. And that same time slot, we've also got the group who worked on strengthening our neighborhoods, including support camps. So if you're interested in kind of the peer-to-peer level, how do we connect? How do we make our neighborhoods stronger? Come to that one. And if you want to talk about taking your camps work out into the world, that's a broader topic, and we've merged our cultural direction setting group on camps and citizenship beyond the trash fence into that group as well. And then in the second slot for breakouts in the afternoon, later in the afternoon, you can talk to Papa Bear and Prince and other folks about participation, paying people in convenience camps. And then we'll also have a group presenting on tickets for camps in 2020 and beyond. So we'll be around. That's all of our cultural direction setting content for today. But we've got more to come for the Theme Camp Symposium. So I'm going to hand it over to Level.